There is a plague that has been transmitted in this country for years. Many people suffer from it and don't even know it. You could be a carrier of this epidemic. Here are a few symptoms: drug abuse, dropping out of high school, imprisonment, and even suicide. It's the Father Deficiency, the most needed vitamin in America. It's also the title of a book written by Frank Stewart, providing 29 tools needed to overcome growing up without a good father. Visit fatherdeficiency.org to order your copy or call 501-329-2055.
Greetings, friends, in the wonderful name of Jesus the Christ. The prophet Malachi declared over 2,000 years ago that God would send the prophet Elijah. And Elijah's job was to turn the hearts of the fathers to their children and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest God said he would come and strike the earth with a curse. When we look at what is going on in America today, that 1/3 of American children are being raised without a father in the home. That's 15 million children. Now, when you think about that, the big deal is when we look at what happens in a fatherless home. You look at suicide. Those that commit suicide, 63% comes from fatherless homes. That makes them 5 times more likely to do that. You look at those that are incarcerated or those that are in prison, they are 20 times more likely to be there if they came from fatherless home. Poverty, we see that those that live in fatherless homes, 71% of them will experience poverty before the age 11. When you see 15 million children and you see the statistics, what the percentage and the at-risk factor, it is a huge deal. That's why we call fatherlessness the number one epidemic, the number one plague in this country. I want to take the next 30 days, the days in the month of June. Since June, we celebrate Father's Day. I want to take the next 30 days, day by day, and go through the 29 chapters in the book Father Deficiency, in the book that I wrote. And I want to give you an overview of why it is so important and why we need to bring awareness to the world, what happens when the father is not in the home. So I want you to stay tuned and study with us as we start on this 30-day journey in the month of June.
Welcome to the Words to Empower podcast, featuring Bishop Frank Stewart, pastor of the Acts Ministry in Conway and North Little Rock, and now Pastor Stewart.
Welcome back to your Acts Ministry broadcast. And we're looking at the book Father Deficiency, the most needed vitamin in America. 29 things every person needs to know who was raised without a good father, or those who know someone who was raised without a good father. So that includes all of us. We either know someone, work with someone, or someone in our families. Because when you look at 15 million children that are being raised today without fathers in the home, it's an epidemic that affects all of us. I want to start with the introduction of the book before I go into chapter 1. The introduction, one man's journey through life with fatherlessness. The story began over 50 years ago with 2 struggles happening simultaneously. A father struggling against the pains of death for his life, and his son struggling to live in the womb of the father's wife. And the mother who is standing in the middle of these 2 struggles. The father lost his struggle to live, while the son was born months later, with their paths having never crossed. I am that son, and the author of this book, Father Deficiency, who became fatherless while in my mother's womb. So throughout the book, I will insert excerpts from my life to help in aiding you to understand the epidemic and how needful it is for us to have an increased awareness of the greatest epidemic ever to hit this country and how it impacts the lives of those that are around us. In chapter 1, concept of father deficiency. Chapter 1 talks about the concept of father deficiency. What do you mean when you say father deficiency? Well, it is when one lacked the necessary things that they needed to receive from their father. Father deficiency goes beyond just being fatherless, but also includes fathers who were present yet absent. This means that even though their fathers were in the home, they still did not receive everything that they needed. To illustrate this in a physical manner, let's examine a disease called scurvy. I want to read this that was written in the World Book Encyclopedia 1994, talking about scurvy. Scurvy is a disease caused by the lack of vitamin C in a person's diet. Scurvy has been known since ancient times. It was once a common disease among sailors. During long voyages, sailors rarely had fresh fruits and vegetables. They lived on salt beef and hardtack or dry biscuits for weeks at a time. Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama once lost about 100 out of 170 men from scurvy. In 1753, James Lindell, a Scottish physician, showed that eating oranges and lemons would cure scurvy and that adding lemon juice to the diet would prevent the disease. This is to show a deficiency. So when we say father deficiency, we're saying that there's something that we all need from our mothers and something we all need from our fathers. And when that breaks down, when God's original intent for every child to be raised by a good godly father is not in that child's life, then there is a deficiency. With the disease scurvy, this disease, as you see, killed 100 out of 170 sailors. You would think that it was some kind of strange disease, some kind of disease that need a medical cure, when in essence it was a disease caused by a deficiency of vitamin C. So most of our diseases are caused because there's a deficiency of a vitamin or a mineral or something the body needs that it does not receive. So when we say father deficiency, there is something that we all need from our fathers. We need it imparted to us. And when it is not, it leads a deficiency.
Stay tuned for more of Frank Stewart. And now for some special announcements.
Thanks for partnering with the Acts Ministries. We value your service and your donations. That's why we've made it easy to make contributions to support our ministry. Simply go to your web browser and click the search bar and type in actsministriesonline.org. Then click Donate Online. It's really that easy. For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501-302-4242.
The Acts Ministries will host its annual Father Awareness March. The staging area will be at the Acts Church, located at 1224 Franklin Street in North Little Rock at 7 a.m. The march will begin at 200 West Pershing Avenue, North Little Rock, and it will end back at the Acts Church. For more information and free registration, call 501-329-2055, or if you're on the web, log on to actsministriesonline.org. That's 501-329-2055 or actsministriesonline.org. We'll see you there.
There is a plague that has been transmitted in this country for years. Many people suffer from it and don't even know it. You could be a carrier of this epidemic. Here are a few symptoms: drug abuse, dropping out of high school, imprisonment, and even suicide. It's the Father Deficiency, the most needed vitamin in America. It's also the title of a book written by Frank Stewart, providing 29 tools needed to overcome growing up without a good father. Visit fatherdeficiency.org to order your copy or call 501-329-2055.
And now, more of Pastor Frank Stewart.
Now, God designed the human body, so he knows what the human body needs to live and to thrive. That's why he put Adam in the Garden of Eden. And every tree that was there, every fruit trees that was there, they were there for Adam and Eve. And they had a well-balanced diet because the body is designed to use vitamin C. When you do not give the body what it needs, whether it's vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, it doesn't matter. Whether it's a lack of B12 vitamins, the consequences of being deficient in those areas can be incredible when it comes to sicknesses and diseases. So since God created the physical body, and he knows what the physical body needs, and he put that in the fruits, he put that on earth for us to receive. So it is with the emotional part of the man, the soulish part of the man, that part that we do not see. God knew that every man, every woman that will be born would need two things. Would need a mother and a father. Those are a must. We didn't fall out the sky. We didn't just happen to be found in the woods or found in a hole. It took a man and a woman to bring a child in the world. Even if you use a test tube, you still got to draw it from a man and a woman. God designed that. So anytime God's original design is broken, anytime we step outside of that, it's going to be a deficiency. So when we see 15 million children now being raised without fathers, 1/3 of all American children in America do not have a father that is living with them. So when we see this, we see an epidemic, not just an epidemic for this generation, but an epidemic that will be passed from generation to generation. The U.S. Census says that over 50 years, the single parents' homes have doubled in the last 50 years. Can you imagine what it would be like if the Lord doesn't come back in the next 50 years or 25 years? It is an epidemic. It's an epidemic that causes cataclysmic consequences. 20 times more likely to go to prison because there is a father, that there is an absence of a father. So in chapter 1, there is an explaining of what father deficiency is. It is lacking what God meant for us to have. Just like us lacking the physical nutrients, the physical vitamins that God wants us to have. So it is emotionally, not having what God designed the body to have. When we say father deficiency, it is different from fatherlessness. Fatherlessness says that you were brought up without a father in the home, or you didn't have a father around. Father deficiency takes it another step, that he could have been around, he could be there, but you didn't receive what you needed from him. And all of us, there are some things that are transmitted from the mother, from the father, that every child that is born, they need that. So it's important for us to understand that. One of the things that we see here under the concept of father deficiency, the father concept, is that the annual public cost of father's absence, somebody estimated at about $100 billion a year. Now, let me let you know that this was some time ago. You can only imagine what it is right now. It is a fatherless generation It is said absent fathers are behind most social woes. That is the former U.S. Vice President Al Gore. It is said the absence of a father is a stronger factor than poverty in contributing to juvenile delinquency. Think about that. Think about the lack of a father has a greater consequence than poverty when you talk about the absence of a father. So the chapter number 1 is talking about the concept. Where do we get this from? Well, I coined the phrase father deficiency to go beyond just fatherlessness, but for those whose fathers were there, but yet still were not there, and you didn't get imparted into you what God meant for them to impart into you. So chapter 1 explains that concept to us. And by explaining this concept to us, it helps us to understand, it should help us to understand, as it is in the natural, so it is in the spiritual. The Bible said what comes first is the natural, and then the spiritual. So when we look at the natural, and we see 100 out of 170 men that died on this voyage because they didn't have any fresh fruit to eat, and over half his crew died. Not from some type of mysterious, incurable disease, but just from the lack of vitamin C. So when we see that happening to the physical body, God is saying to us, emotionally and spiritually, I created you and I put a need, I put a craving in you for the things that you need. That's why there is such a craving for a male presence. That's why there's such a craving for that mother. So without the mother or the father, and in our culture, it is the absence of the father that impacts the children in an incredible way. 15 million children in America. That's 1/3 of all American children that are being raised without a father. I want you to stay tuned as we give you excerpts from chapter 2 on tomorrow.
For mobile giving, text the amount you wish to donate to 501-302-4242.
The Acts Church in North Little Rock is located at 1224 Franklin Street. Morning Glory begins at 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings. Sunday school begins at 8:30 a.m. And for a powerful word, join us at 9:30 a.m. for our morning worship service. Bible study is each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. At our Conway location, Morning Glory begins at 10 a.m. Sunday school begins at 10:30 a.m. Worship service begins at 11:30 a.m. On Thursday, our Bible class begins at 6:30 p.m. For more information, go to actsministriesonline.org or give us a call at 501-329-2055.
Thank you for tuning in to the Acts Ministry Podcast. The Acts Church is located at 1423 England Street in Conway and 1224 Franklin Street in North Little Rock, Arkansas. Tune in each day to hear an inspiring word from Pastor Frank Stewart.
Well, friends, that's the end of our broadcast today. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. Fatherlessness and father deficiency has been one of the great passions of this ministry. Being fatherless from birth, I am a personal witness of the devastation it brings into the life of a person. With this present father crisis we are experiencing in this country now, 1/3 of all the children living in this country live in homes without fathers. That's about 15 million children. We're asking you to join this fight with us by becoming a partner. Go to our website, actsministriesonline.org. That is actsministriesonline.org, and purchase the book Father Deficiency, or purchase an electronic copy. The Bible declares that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. The book Father Deficiency would give you the knowledge and bring awareness to you so you can fight against America's greatest plague. Remember, friends, that's actsministriesonline.org. God bless you, and remember our motto at Acts Church. If you're not doing church when you leave church, you're not doing church right.